snowed last night. We can build a snowman now.
And go sledding.
And have a snowball fight.
Oh, but before we have a snowball fight, we gotta make a whole mess of snowballs for ammunition. You be my partner, Jenny.
Sure, Wayne. Who's gonna be my partner? Oh, I'll go back to the hideout and get Mark.
But wait, Cassie, he won't come outside.
Why?
He thinks it's too cold.
We're heading to Hickory Hideout. We'll be what we want to be. We'll see what we want to see. We'll go where we want to go. So let's go. We're on our way. It's time to play Hickory Hideout. Hickory Hideout. Hickory Hideout. This way.
It's so cold. I'll never get used to this cold weather.
Before we make any more snowballs, Wayne, let's go back up to the hideout and get Mark.
But Cassie, I'm warning you, he won't come down.
He will when he sees these snowballs. He'll want to play.
But Wayne, he just got here from Florida.
Oh, and it's warm there. He's not used to this cold weather. Speaking of cold weather, Wayne, aren't your hands going to be cold without your gloves on?
Cassie, you can't make a decent snowball with your gloves on. Come on, we'll show Mark all the neat things you can do in the snow. And then when we're finished making our snowballs, we'll help you make some.
I think I'll keep my mittens on.
Nutso, that is the 25th bag of nuts I've packed. Don't you think you've had enough?
Oh, boy, Cheryl. It must be below freezing. I'm getting so sleepy. But to tell you the truth, Cheryl, I think we could use about 10 more bags.
But Nutso, you can't sleep and eat at the same time.
Oh, yeah? Just watch me.
Nutso!
I'm just kidding you, Cheryl. But I want to make sure that if I happen to wake up during our hibernation, well, there'd be something for me to snack on. You know, I can't figure out why we have to go into hibernation for anyway.
Oh, Nutso, Mom tells you every year that when the weather gets cold and we can't find anything to eat, we go to sleep. That's how we survive the winter.
Yeah, but it's too bad we can't live in a place that's warm all year round.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Oh, hi, Mark. What are you doing over here? I thought you'd be out playing with Wayne, Cassie, and Jenny. They're making snowballs.
No way.
What's the matter? Don't you like the snow?
Well, I can't get used to it.
That's right. You're from Florida. This will be your first real cold winter.
Yeah, and if I were back home, I would be swimming in the ocean right now instead of shivering in my boots.
You're not wearing any boots, Mark.
I don't even own a pair.
Well, if you're going to live around here, Mark, then you're going to have to get a pair and a warmer jacket, too. For when you do go outside, you don't want to get frostbite, do you?
Well, you don't have to worry about that, because I'm never going outside in this cold weather. Hey, maybe I can hibernate with you two and wake up when it gets real warm.
That's a great idea, Mark. But you gotta bring your own food.
Wait a second, Wayne. I'm going to run back up to the hideout and get Mark. This is one thing he can't do in Florida.
Wayne, what about your earmuffs?
Oh, I don't need them. I'm fine without them.
Then, Mark, you can come with us and help us to find a tree to hibernate in.
But do I have to go outside?
Oh, sure.
Why don't you guys go ahead and find a tree? I'll get my supplies ready.
Okay.
Hey, Mark.
Shut the door! You're letting all the cold air in.
Oh, but Mark, that cold air is so refreshing. Ooh, it's hot in here, though. Ooh.
See, Mark, if you're going to get used to the cold weather, you've got to dress for it. When you dress for the cold weather, it won't bother you. Look at us, we're warm.
Real warm.
Even if I had heavier clothes on, I'm not going outside. You're so bundled up. Look at you.
But Mark, once you get used to the cold, you'll be like me. Look, hey, I don't need this scarf or this heavy sweater or those gloves or my earmuffs. Mark, here. You take mine, and then let's get back out there into the cold. Come on, the snowballs are all ready.
Yeah, Mark, you're going to be my partner. We're going to have a great big snowball fight. Listen, Wayne, I can go home and get another scarf for you to wear.
Nah, I don't need one. Come on.
It makes me shiver just looking at him.
Oh, come on, Mark, you'll love it.
No, that's all right. I have better things to do.
See, I told you. Now what are we going to do? He won't play.
That's okay, Jenny. I've got another idea of what we can do in the snow. Come on, let's go.
Oh, let's see. I've got my warm blankets, my thermos, my flashlight. I'll put it all in my knapsack.
Hi, Mark!
Hey, did you find a good place to hibernate yet?
No, not yet, but you ought to see what they're doing down in the park.
Who? What?
They're making this huge, humongous snowman. Oh, wow. You know, sometimes I wish I didn't have to hibernate and miss out on all this winter fun. You ought to go down and... Excuse me. You ought to go down and see it. I'm getting so sleepy.
No, that's all right. I still have to get my stuff ready.
Oh, don't forget the food.
Oh, that's right. I have to call the grocery store.
Why?
Because it's so cold. I'll have it delivered.
Hey, Cassie, get an old broom for Mr. Snow to hold. That's perfect.
Aren't you cold, Wayne?
Nah, I'm tough. Gee, you know, I wish we could bring Mr. Snow to life and find out what he's so sad about. Hey, maybe he's afraid of the cold, too. You think I should give him my jacket?
No, Wayne, you need your jacket at least. Snowman definitely like the cold, but maybe he needs a snow friend.
Hey, let's get Mark and make him come down and help us build another one.
Yeah.
Be sure you order lots and lots.
Not so. We have to count our bags of food. I have 29 down in the park, and this makes 30, 31, 32.
Oh, okay, I'll help you.
Okay. 33,
34,
35,
36,
37,
38,
39,
40.
40. But I thought we only had 35.
Hey, all the more snacks for us.
Good. Let's just pile them over here, and then we'll transport them down to the park later.
Check.
Let's see, that'll be 2 hot pepperoni pizzas, a gallon of chocolate milk, 2 packages of chocolate chip cookies, and a big bag of potato chips.
Well, you having a party?
No, just real hungry.
Guess what, Mark? We made this great snowman, but he needs a friend. Want to help us build another one?
No, I told you I'm not going outside.
Well, I guess some of us can handle it and some of us can't.
Ooh, I couldn't find the broom, but look what I've got.
Hey, Mark, have you ever been sledding?
No.
Gee, you'll love this, swooshing down the hill. You can't believe how fast we can go.
Cold wind blowing on your face?
You have got to try it.
No, that's all right. I'll watch you from the window.
Oh, gee, Mark, if you're going to stay inside all day, you might as well hibernate for the winter.
Yeah, let's go sledding. Come on.
Let's go.
Cassie, you be my partner.
Sure.
Me first.
Hibernate. That's exactly what I plan to do.
Cassie, wait up.
Hey, Cheryl, I'm getting tired. What about this tree? It's good enough.
No, Nutso. It's too small for 35 bags of nuts and us, too. Zip up your jacket. It's getting chilly out here. No wonder Mark didn't come with us.
Hey, Cheryl, did you see that?
What? The snowman over there?
Yeah, I think he moved.
Oh, Nutso, you are really spaced out. Boy, is it time for you to hibernate.
Look, there he goes again. I'm sure, but you saw that, didn't you, Cheryl?
No, Nutso.
I think he's crying.
Oh, Nutso, come on. Let's check out that tree over there.
Hickory Hideout will return right after these messages. And now, back to Hickory Hideout.
Wait, you go first.
Okay, give me a push.
Well, let's go.
Okay.
Do I get on the back now?
Yeah. You know, Mark would love this if we only could get him outside.
Yeah, well, maybe someday he'll find out how much fun it is in the winter weather. Here we go.
Who is it?
Joe's Deli. Okay, kid, I got your 2 pepperoni pizzas. I got the 2 gallons of chocolate milk. I got your 2 bags of chocolate chip cookies and a big bag of potato chips. Hey, kid, what are you doing? Going into hibernation?
How do you know?
Hey, Mark. Nutso and I just found the best tree to hibernate in. Are you ready? Ooh, it's so cold out there.
Ready as can be.
You know, Mark, winter weather can be dangerous if you don't know how to dress properly. I'm glad that you have mittens and a scarf and earmuffs to wear.
Wayne gave me his to wear.
But what's Wayne wearing?
I don't know.
He could get frostbite.
I've heard of that, but what is it?
Oh, I know what frostbite is. It's when a part of your body freezes. You see, it usually starts with your finger or your ears or your nose.
Will I get it if I go out?
Well, no, not if you dress properly and keep covered up and don't stay out too long. And if you get wet, you go in and get out of your wet clothes right away. Are you ready?
Ready as can be.
Before I go into hibernation, I'm going to check out that snowman that Cassie, Wayne, and Jenny made.
I was right. You are crying. You're a crying snowman. Hey, you know those tears are going to freeze on your face?
Oh, I can't help it. I'm so...
So?
I'm so...
So what?
I'm so lonely. I have to stand here all day and all night with nobody to talk to and nobody to play with until I melt. And that won't be until the spring.
Aw, gee, I'd like to help you out. But I'm on my way to hibernation. We squirrels got to do that, you know.
Gee, do you have to?
Well, I don't really know. I've never tried not to before.
Oh, please, please be my friend. The people who built me said they were going to build me a friend, but they forgot all about it and walked right past me. Oh, please be my friend.
Well, I'd like to, but I don't know if I can stay awake that long.
Oh, please try.
Yeah, okay. I'll try. I'll try real hard.
Ooh, is it real cold out here? I can't wait to get inside.
Well, here it is, Mark. Here's the tree where we're going to spend the winter.
But Cheryl.
You don't like it?
But no, I can't fit all my supplies in there, and there's no way I can fit inside.
Gee, Mark, I'm sorry. This is the best Nutso and I can do. Maybe people weren't meant to hibernate.
Well, they can if they want to. I'll go find some place up in the hideout.
Wake up, friend, wake up!
Oh, gee, I'm so tired. Oh, it's so cold out here. I don't think I can stay awake much longer. It makes me so sleepy.
But you promised me!
Oh, it's so cold. I don't know where to go or what to do. Hey, maybe I can make a tent out of this table. I'll just take my blanket and make a tent. It'll be a perfect place to hibernate. That's more like it. This is perfect for the winter.
Gee, Cassie,
it's slippery. You should try it.
Something wrong with your ears, Wade?
Oh, it's a little cold, that's all.
Do you want to borrow my hat?
Oh, nah.
Mark! Mark! How are you, Mark? Hey, Mark!
I'm down here, Nutso.
What are you doing under the table?
I'm hibernating. I thought that's what you're supposed to be doing.
Well, yeah, I'm supposed to, but... excuse me. I promised a friend that I would try to stay awake, but I don't think that I can. I think I'm going to break my promise in a minute or two.
Is there any way I can help you stay awake?
Well, there is one thing you can do. You see, I promised my friend that I would keep him company. You see, he has to stand down there all day and all night, all by himself, and I
Nutso!
what? Oh, yeah, he's right outside the door.
Is anybody out there?
Just me.
You're
A snowman. A lonely snowman.
Well, come on in.
Oh, thank you.
You're Nutso's friend, aren't you?
Oh, yes, I am, but did he fall asleep again? Oh, he promised me.
Well, he can't help it. That's how squirrels live in the winter.
Oh, I guess I'm lonely again.
I'd like to help you, but I have to hibernate too.
You don't look sleepy.
I'm not.
Well, why are you going to hibernate?
Well, I don't like this cold weather.
Oh, well, I guess we can't be friends because I have to live in it. You know, I'd stay here with you, but if I stay, pretty soon all I'll be is slush. Well, bye.
Bye. I'm sorry. Oh, I just can't let him cry like that. I can't let anybody cry like that. Oh, wait, Mr. Snow. I'll be your friend. Come on up.
But I told you before, I'll melt.
Oh. I'll be right down.
Oh, goody, 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 goody.
Hey, Cassie, want some hot chocolate?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, gee, we forgot the cups. We'll have to go back up to the hideout to get them.
Wayne, are you okay? Your ears are all red.
I just get a little cold, that's all. Hey, I'll carry the thermos, okay?
Okay. Is he okay?
I don't know.
Ooh.
Hickory Hideout will return after these messages. And now, back to Hickory Hideout. But Mr. Snow, I've got to let you know, I'm not used to this cold weather.
Oh, don't worry. I'll take care of you, Mark. Since you're such a good friend, I want to show you all the wonders of winter.
But Mr. Snow, I'm so cold.
Don't worry. Just turn around 3 times and we'll see what Wayne, Jenny, and Cassie have been doing today. 1, 2, 3.
Winter wonders, winter fun, winter games to play when the snow has come, and it's deep enough to build a snowman right in the middle of the lawn. And the skating rink is frozen solid, waiting for you to put your ice skates on. Winter wonders, winter fun, and the winter fun has just begun. Winter wonders, winter fun, when the winter snows have come. Going sledding down a hillside, and you're skidding to the left, to the right. Making angels in a snowbank, or having just a friendly snowball fight. Winter wonders, winter fun, and the winter fun has just begun. Winter wonders, winter fun, when the winter snows have come.
Boy, that was fast. They really had fun today.
Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, here's some cups for the hot chocolate.
Boy, that was fun.
Mark, you did not know what you were missing.
Oh, what are these blankets sitting on the picnic table?
Oh, look at Nutso. Hey.
Hi, is it spring yet?
No, Nutso, it's still winter.
Where's Cheryl?
Oh, now I remember. Yeah, the big tree. The tree where we plan to hibernate. See, I made this promise and I...
Nutso, where's Mark?
Look under the table.
That looks like the stuff Mark was ordering on the phone before. I wonder where he got to. Not outside, not Mark.
Nutso! Nutso! I've been waiting for you.
What, is it spring yet?
Nutso, Mark won't fit into our tree, and you didn't come back. And I fell asleep.
But he talks, Cheryl. He really does, and he was crying, and he was so lonely.
Mark?
No, the snowman.
The snowman talks?
Yeah, he came up to the hideout.
He's really out of it.
Oh, I bet I know what happened. Mark went down to see our snowman. We asked him to, but I didn't think he would.
No. See, he needed a friend. Come on, Cheryl. We gotta get hibernating. Mark is just gonna have to stay awake. There's no room, and he'll just have to get used to the cold.
Hey, what's wrong with Wayne?
Oh, it looks like he's had too much of the cold weather.
Wayne, come here. Oh, do I have to do everything? Let me see your ears and your fingers.
There you go.
Oh, they look all right. Boy, are you lucky. No sign of frostbite. You know, you shouldn't go outside and play in the cold without your fingers and ears covered. Cassie, get him some hot chocolate.
Oh.
Nutso, wake up. Wake up. We have to go into hibernation.
Oh, yeah.
See you later. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Oh, I'm glad you're back. Can I have some of that hot chocolate? What's the matter, Wayne?
Oh, you know, Mark, you and I have something in common. You were too careful about the cold, and I wasn't careful enough.
Mark, where were you?
All over. I've been seeing all the winter wonders. Hey, why don't we go build a friend snowman for Mr. Snow?
Oh, that's right. Poor, sad Mr. Snow. Hurry up, everyone, with your drinks. We said we built him another snowman to keep him company.
You coming, Wayne?
Oh, I think I'll stay inside this time.
Let's gather a whole bunch of snow and build another great snowman.
But first, let's go up and get some more hot chocolate.
Good idea.
Hey, Mark, coming?
In a second. Thanks, Mr. Snow.
Anytime, friend.
Winter wonders, winter fun, winter games to play when the snow has come, and it's deep enough to build a snowman right in the middle of the lawn, and the skating rink is frozen solid, waiting for you to put your ice skates on. Winter wonders, winter fun, and the winter fun has just begun. Winter wonders, winter fun, when the winter snows have come. Going sledding down a hillside, and you're skidding to the left, to the right. Making angels in a snowbank, or having just a friendly snowball fight. Winter wonders, winter fun, and the winter fun has just begun. Winter wonders, winter fun, when the winter snows have come.